everyone once again for my Facebook Live here every Tuesday, 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. My name is Mark Stark, and I think I have a great topic to share with you today. We're going to talk about self-fulfilling prophecies. Now, I think we've all heard, or let me ask you, have you ever heard this concept? Be careful, you might create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, I think that taints really how to utilize self-fulfilling prophecies to leverage them to your benefit. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, before I jump into some live, very recent examples, let me give you 3 steps. And these 3 steps are a must if we're going to utilize self-fulfilling prophecies to our benefit. Okay, first, we must realize that we're creating self-fulfilling prophecies every day. That's right. You are doing it every single day, be it you realize, admit it, or not. Because what it tells us is the power of our thought process, the power of our beliefs, the power of our actions, the power of our decision making, all of that, okay, breeds into a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I want you to do me a favor. I don't want you to label a self-fulfilling prophecy as good or bad. Okay, it just is. So you're creating them every day, and we're not going to label them good or bad. However, number 3, if we believe that we are creating these each and every day, and we're not going to label them good or bad, would it make sense that, we want to position each self-fulfilling prophecy to support our clients, support our lives, support our needs, whatever the case would be. We want that to help us move our business, our life, our clients forward in all that we do. All right, so I want you to keep those in mind. Real quick, you know what? You're creating self-fulfilling prophecies every day. Don't label them good or bad. They just are. And you know what? Let's position them to help our clients and help us move forward. All right, with that in mind, I want to give you a live example that recently happened. In fact, over this last weekend, my wife took my youngest daughter prom dress shopping. Yeah, they don't have a normal prom, but it is a pseudo-type get-together prom, and God bless, they can do something. So they went out shopping, and when my wife came home, she just started telling me about the experience of shopping. And here's some of the things that she shared. She says, Mark, it felt that many of the retailers, not all though, but many of the retailers were bringing out old merchandise just to see if they could resell it. So it was the old stuff, not exciting at all. They only had one dressing room open. So anyone in the store, all right, had to use one. So there was a line of people waiting just to try on anything because there was only one available. No exciting new products. There wasn't any new retail, no new products, no new styles along those lines, and fewer overall employees. She said, Mark, there was just fewer over employees. It was hard to get anyone to help. She did say this, that the one employee that was on their game was the mask police at the front of the store, making sure before you walk in, you had your mask on. All right. Now I get all that. I understand the importance of that. But look at what's happening here. You're creating an experience for the consumer. And something my wife said was really powerful. She says, it just makes me feel that it's just easier and the experience is better to just shop online. I mean, why don't I do it? Think about how powerful that statement is. That because of the recent experience she had shopping, that experience itself was pushing her more to go online. Now, she had exceptions, and I'm not going to name specific stores, but she had specific stores that were exceptions that said, who really did it right, and I would absolutely go back? X, Y, Z. That to me was really, really powerful because now those stores started to create an experience that said, wait a minute, you've been itching to get back, all right, out into the world, out shopping. And by the way, if you come to my store, the experience will be special. The experience will feel better than shopping online. In fact, when it comes to what I sell, you won't want to shop online. You will want to be here. Wow. All right. To me, that is a powerful lesson for all of us to learn, because certainly if you're in the retail business and you're sending the message that it's more delightful and the experience is better to shop online, I don't think overall that's going to be a big support for your business going forward. All right, I'm going to give you another example. Now, this one I might take a little lumps from, but I'm going to explain it and communicate it because I don't want this pulled out of context. Let's talk a little bit about the unemployment aspect of what's going on right now. I've talked to numerous friends that are in different businesses that are looking to hire people, as well as we look to hire people. And you run into individuals that, because they happen to be on unemployment today, and they're going to call it the same. Maybe they're making a little bit more on unemployment. Maybe they're making a little bit less, but they don't have to work. They're like, you know what? Call me back when the unemployment money is over. All right. Now, to me, that is a huge loss opportunity, just like the retail example. Because to me, if you're an individual that says, listen, it's not about, am I getting, for lack of a better word, the free dollars to utilize and not have to work? What the real aspect I want you to do is to flip that around and say, wait a minute. I can set a real different message, send a real different message. I can set myself apart to a specific employer. In fact, you probably have a better chance to pick the most passionate employer, the place that you're most passionate about to work at in an environment like this, and to say, wait a minute, I'm willing to give up unemployment right now. I do want to get back in the workforce. I just want your support on X, on Y, on Z. And by the way, don't forget about me when there's new opportunities in this business, because this business I'm excited about. I want to work in this industry, whatever the case may be. And you know what? Remember that I wasn't the person sitting, down, just taking the unemployment and not going back into the workforce. I had an opportunity to work. It was in an industry that I liked. And you know what? I took it. Now, I am not judging anyone in unemployment, and I'm a believer that people need unemployment. That's not the message. The message is this: when you have the opportunity to go back to work in lieu of the unemployment, I think it's a terrible mistake not to position yourself and take that opportunity to get in front of an employer and go, hey, all right, I didn't choose that. This is somebody that you want long-term at your organization and also want to give more opportunity over the long run. Now, let's take these concepts and flip it back into our own business, the real estate sales business. All right, let me give you some examples of exactly this self-fulfilling prophecy that I'm talking about that you can build. And this example I just gave you with the unemployment, you're building a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're saying, based on this, those dollars, all right, and not having to work is more important to me than getting back into the workforce. That's what your actions are saying. That's the self-fulfilling prophecy of the mentality that you're building when your actions do that. So let's tie that back into our own business. Let's say a buyer felt this way. So let's talk about a buyer building a self-fulfilling prophecy. And a buyer said this, they're talking, let's say, to one of their friends, and they go, it really doesn't matter what agent and what broker I work with. In this market, I'm just going to have to keep paying more and more and more. I mean, I'll pay the exact same amount regardless of who I'm working with. Now, one, do you believe that's true? Think about that. Do you believe no matter who the agent, no matter who the company is, every buyer will pay the exact same dollar amount for their property, or even get a property? If you were a buyer and lost, 10 bids, 10 houses, you would have lost 10 houses no matter who you worked with. One, I do not believe that. So what is the solution? How do you leverage self-fulfilling prophecies to your benefit? You have to switch that message around. And the place to do that first, number one, is in your own mindset. And ask a question like this: what does my presentation have to be like? What do I have to communicate so a buyer understands that when you're working with me, when you're working with my company, okay, when you're working with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, you have a better chance of solidifying the property, and you have a better chance for buying a property for less because they get the process. They understand what they're doing. They're skilled at what they're doing. Do you see the difference there? And that is the message you want to make sure you're sending, because if you're not, and you're going through the motions, and sometimes I hear agents say, well, you just got to be paying more. That's what this environment is about. Don't confuse upping your bid with having a strategic plan of how that works. Because one says it doesn't matter, you just got to pay more. The other one says, yeah, you know what? We're still dealing with the marketplace, but because I'm managing the process, you have the highest chance of paying less and while winning that bid for your home. Let's take it on the selling side. Same type of message, but slightly a little bit different. Regardless of the sales executive and company I work with, my house is going to sell what my house sells for. I'm going to net the same. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I can pick any agent, I can pick any brokerage, and I'm going to net the same. My God, that's so not true. So not true. But the question is, if you're not trying to build that self-fulfilling prophecy, that's the attitude of the clients that you interact with, you got to make sure that you're communicating your presentation, and your message has to say, hey, when you have me market your home, when you are working with my organization at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, then you have the highest opportunity of not only successfully selling your house and having it close, but you have the best chance to maximize your equity. That is a very different message than just jumping in and dealing with what's going on in the market. Just like the retail example. I'm the last one to tell anyone that these types of environments are not difficult, challenging to deal with, because I know they are. Not the point. And by the way, your client isn't thinking about that at all, and nor is the retail shopper. They're looking at their experience. They're looking at what they're going through. They're looking at how it affects their world, their life, and what they're trying to accomplish. And in doing that, you have to make sure your message, your actions, and your process are on point. Let's pull one internally. One more example internally in our business. I don't want to build a team or a brokerage within a brokerage because, all team associates want are leads and split. That's all they care about. Okay? Do you want to build that self-fulfilling prophecy? Or do I want to build the self-fulfilling prophecy as, look, I know that what's most important is the culture, the environment, and helping those sales executives achieve their goals, because their personal goals for themselves, their family, and their business is very important to them. And I will say this, and I got to make sure my presentation and my communication is on point to say, if you join my group as a team associate, you have the best chance, okay, of achieving your personal goals. Number one, and I promise you, you will have an environment that inspires you, okay, to be successful and to enjoy and be passionate about your career. It's a very different message than all they care about is leads and split. Look, I promise you this, trust me on this, you are building a self-fulfilling prophecy every single day in numerous ways. I wish for you is that all your self-fulfilling prophecies are supporting your needs, your goals, your clients, and what you want to accomplish in your life. If this information was valid to you, please like, of course, share it with everyone that you feel can benefit from it, and follow. As always, we will see you every week, every Tuesday at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.